After having the Wells Fargo Active Cash for 6 months, I have to say it's a pretty good card for what I used it for. Although Wells Fargo may not be the best bank, they have pretty good credit card products in my opinion. One of those being the Active Cash card. Now I got this card because it was one of my first cards getting into the cashback game. What took my interest is that it's a flat 2% cashback on everything with no annual fee. But let's go ahead and talk about the many reasons why this is a decent card in my opinion. Let's hop into it. Like I said earlier, this is a no annual fee card. Having a no annual fee card means that you automatically get the full value from this card, which also means that you don't have to break even in order to see the full value. Now there are some cards out there that do have annual fees, which allows you to earn more points. But to see the value of those cards, you have to offset the annual fee in order to actually start seeing those points gaining you value. So let's say, for example, that if the Active Cash card did have an annual fee of $100, then you have to gain enough cashback value in order to see the positive gain on this card. So looking at the math, you would have to spend a minimum of $5,000 within the year to even clear that annual fee. Since the Active Cash does not have an annual fee, you already start gaining value as soon as you start using the card. And using this card, it's an unlimited 2% cashback card. So every purchase that is made with this card, you literally get 2% cash back with no limit. Cards like this are usually called a catch-all card, meaning that you don't have to worry about using this card for certain categories or even about activating quarterly categories. An additional plus was that when I got this card, they had a welcome bonus of $200 when spending $500 within the first 3 months. And as of the day when this video gets uploaded, they currently still have the same promotion. To me personally, the spending limit is really easy to reach because in today's world, many people spend way more than $500 within a single month. So if you use this card for groceries, gas, or dining, that $500 spend requirement would be achieved quickly. Well, what if I don't spend that much money within the first 3 months? I would recommend not to spend out of your normal spending habits just to get the sign-on bonus. The main rule of thumb is that if you are already going to spend those $500 within the 3 months, then the bonus is the plus. And if this is something that can be reached, then it's not worth getting into debt trying to get this bonus. I would even try breaking my head trying to figure out how to spend $500 that I initially wouldn't spend. Even if you don't get the sign-on bonus, it's still a good credit card, especially when getting 2% cash back on all purchases. And don't forget to pay your statement balance in full so that way you don't have to pay any interest. Speaking of interest, the Active Cash card has a 0% Intro APR for the first 12 months from account opening on purchases and qualifying balance transfers. Now this may be useful for certain individuals that want to take advantage of this feature, but please do be aware of the APR after the 12-month ends because the APR will range between 19.24% to 29.24%. I've known many people to use this feature during my college years when they would spend money on the credit card making the minimum payment with no interest, but they will make up for it in the summer when they can work more to pay off the balance completely before the 12-month ends. Now, in my opinion, this is kind of pushing it because you're kind of putting yourself in more debt. But if this is something you can manage, then this is completely up to you. However, I don't recommend this, and do keep in mind banks do this on purpose so that when you don't pay off the debt within the first 12 months, this is how they start collecting interest off of you. Another way I've seen people use this feature is taking advantage of the balance transfer function. This can be useful for people who have high balances on other credit cards that have very high interest rates. Transferring those balances to the Active Cash card allows you to get 0% APR for the first 12 months, meaning that you will not pay any interest on the balance. After the 12 months, then that's when you start seeing the APR of 19.24 to 29.24 start kicking in if the balance is not paid completely off. Do keep in mind that in the fine print there is a fee when doing that balance transfer. The introductory fee is either $5 or 3% of the amount of each balance transfer, whichever is greater. The Active Cash card also includes benefits like seller phone protection up to $600 against damage or theft with a $25 deductible, auto rental collision, travel and emergency assistance, roadside dispatch, emergency cash disbursement and card replacement, zero liability protection. It does include credit close-up, which is a feature to check your credit score, but I noticed that it cushions your credit score more than what I usually see in Credit Karma. So I personally wouldn't use this to get the range of your credit score. As for what I think of the card, I'm 50-50 with it. I like the simplicity of having a straightforward 2% cashback card with no loopholes that you have to go through. But the fact that you can't send your cashback rewards to an external bank is kind of annoying. Other cards like the Citi Double Cash is also a 2% cashback card, which technically you get 1% cashback when making purchase and then 1% when you pay the balance off. which is a loophole that is easy to do because we pay off our statement balance in full. But the Citi Double Cash does allow you to redeem your rewards to an external bank. So if I would have known this before, I would have applied for the Citi Double Cash rather than the Active Cash. Another downside of the Active Cash is Wells Fargo's presentation to the public. Wells Fargo was opening accounts without customer authorization. This was something that I later found out about the bank, so technically they have my personal information in their system already. I know that this happened around 2020, so I'm sure that they have learned from their mistakes to make sure something like that would never happen again. But I know a lot of people are still not fans of them. Would I recommend this card? I would say it's a very good option for a credit card. Now, would I trust Wells Fargo, the bank? I'm still iffy on that based on what they did. But hey, if you bank with them, then getting this card should probably be no problem for you. I, on the other hand, would say the Citi Double Cash would be the best bet. Let me know in the comments below if you will want me to make a review over the Citi Double Cash. But until then, let's keep things simple and see you on the next one.